Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Comic World here, and today we're going to be talking about the history of the Vision. Now, the first Vision was created by writer-artist team of Joe Simon and Jack Kirby in Marvel Mystery Comics issue 13. Now, this was during the 1930s and 1940s period, which fans and historians called the Golden Age of Comics. I just want to explain the Golden Age of Comics for a little bit. The Golden Age of Comics was essentially what it says in the title, the Golden Age of Comics. It's when Marvel, DC, anything to do with comics were booming. It's where mostly the characters that we now know and love came from. Moving on. Now, the Vision that we see there in that issue is very different from the Vision we see nowadays. And that's because it's a different Vision created by Stan Lee than the one we know now. Now, I'm not going to get into that very much because that's a different story. So let's go on. Decades later, editor Stan Lee and writer Roy Thomas decided to add a new team member to the superhero team series, The Avengers. Thomas wanted to bring back the Golden Age Vision, the one that we saw before, but Lee was set on introducing an android member. Thomas ultimately compromised by using a new android Vision. The second Vision first appeared in Avengers issue 57, October 1968, and in Avengers issue 75, April 1970. The Scarlet Witch is reintroduced to the team and soon becomes a love interest for the Vision, which seems kind of odd since he's an android and she's a human, but nonetheless. Thomas recounted, "I felt that a romance of some sort would help the character development in the Avengers, and the Vision was a prime candidate because he appeared only in the mag, as did Wanda, for that matter, so they became a pair for just such particle considerations. It would also, I felt, add to development I was doing on the Vision attempting to become human." Thomas also came up with the idea of the Vision having been created from the body of the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, not Johnny Storm. Just keep that in mind. But only planted a vague clue to this in the Avengers in issue 93. Before leaving the series, it was finally followed up by the Avengers issue 134 through 135. Writer Steve Englehart explained, "The plot was well known in ours for years, and since Roy Thomas and Neil Adams hadn't had a chance to do it, I did it on my watch with Roy's blessing." The Vision Scarlet Witch were married in Giant Size Avengers issue 14, June 1975. The couple starred in the limited series Vision and the Scarlet Witch issues 1 through 4. This was followed by a second volume numbered issue 1 through issue 12, October 1985 through September 1686, I believe. Written by Steve Englehart and penciled by Richard Howell, in which the Scarlet Witch gives birth to two twin boys conceived with the Vision through magical means. Now, there are very many types of visions, so I'll only be explaining about 2, maybe 3. In a storyline called The Vision Quest, Ragu, I don't know how to say her name, I'm sorry, agents of the United States government, manipulated by the time traveler Immortus, abduct the Vision and dismantle him. The Avengers recovered the parts and Dr. Pym rebuilt the Vision with a chalk white explection. However, the revived Simon Williams does not allow his brain pattern to be used again to provide a matrix for a Vision's emotions, explaining that the original process done without his consent had ripped out his soul. This, along with damage to this Vision's synthetic skin when he was dismantled, results in the synthesoid restructuring as a colorless and emotional artificial human. Keep in mind that because the Torch and the Vision were I guess one person, you could say, that's how the Vision had emotions. That's the reason he had emotions, because he had a soul, essentially. The Vision gradually regains his emotions by adapting new brain patterns from deceased scientist Alex Lipton and gains a new body that resembles his original. In addition, Sam Williams' brain patterns gradually remerge and meld with the Lipton's patterns, restoring the Vision's fully capacity for emotion. The second incarnation The second incarnation of the Vision is a fusion of the old Vision operating systems and the armor adventure Iron Lad. Who's Iron Lad? Iron Lad is a teenage version of Kang the Conqueror who arrives in the present through this merger. Iron Lad is able to access plants the Vision had created in the events of the Avengers' defeat. He uses these plants to assemble a new team of young Avengers when Iron Lad is forced to remove his armor to stop Kang the Conqueror from striking him. The Vision's operating system causes the armor to become a sentient being. When Iron Lad leaves the time period, he leaves the armor behind with the Vision's operating systems activated. The exact details of the new Vision's personality and mental makeup varies from writer to writer. Some writers like Brian Michael Bendis during the Collective storyline and Ed Brubaker during Captain America Reborn write him as if he was the original Vision in a new body, while other writers such as Alan Heinberg and Dan Slott write him as an entirely new character. But it all varies between writers, and it all depends on which one you like better, I guess you could say. Now, some powers and abilities of the Vision. The Vision is described as a being, every inch in human being, except that all his body organs are constructed of synthetic materials. The solar jewel on the Vision's forehead absorbs ambient solar energy to provide the needed power for him to function. He is also capable of discharging this energy as optic beams. With this, he can fire beams from infrared and microwave radiation. In extreme cases, however, he can discharge this same power through the solar jewel itself, which amplifies its destructive effects considerably, albeit at the cost of losing most of his resources. The Vision also possesses the ability to manipulate density, which at its lowest flight and ghostly phasing, and at its highest provides superhuman strength, immovability, and diamond-hard near invulnerability. The Vision is capable of reaching a density 10 times greater than that of depleted uranium, and also keep in mind that he was trained by the one and only Captain America. And there you have it, guys, the history of the Vision. That's it for today, and as always, keep on marveling.